So, so again, this is about preparing for and hosting an open house. Let's move on. So what are we going to learn? We're going to learn about preparation, how to prepare for the open house, what to do the day of the open house, buyer and potential seller interaction. So what to say when people walk into the open house, and safety. You have to be safe. So first, open houses are simple and a powerful tool, right? So a scheduled, so what is an open house? First of all, it's a scheduled time when a property is open to the public for viewing. It's pretty easy, right? Pretty simple. And it's usually hosted by a realtor or sometimes a homeowner. They want to do it. I mean, you don't see it that often, but sometimes the homeowner wants to be there and wants to do it. And it allows potential buyers to tour the property at their convenience. So there's an open house, they're driving by, they can stop. They don't have to wait for a realtor to open the house for them. And it's also a great way to generate interest and attract multiple offers for your listing. It's a great way to market the property. So benefits for sellers. Why sellers love open houses? Well, first of all, because it increases exposure, it gets more people on the property, right? More potential buyers. Faster sales, you attract multiple offers. So you see a bunch of people in there and it kind of creates a frenzy like, oh, I better submit an offer right away because I saw a lot of people that are interested in it. Market feedback, you get to gauge what people think about the property, right? So if you had some concerns that you addressed or shared with the homeowner and they think something totally different, no, that's not the case. Well, now you're getting feedback from buyers and actual agents that are bringing their buyers through, like, oh, it's really dark in here, or oh, there's a smell in here, or whatever it is, right? It's got old carpet or whatever, right? You're getting feedback and negotiation leverage. So again, when you see a bunch of people go walking through an open house, it creates a frenzy. You think like, oh man, I better submit my offer now because there's a lot of people, and maybe you submit a really good offer. Now, benefits for buyers. Why do buyers like open houses? Why do they attend them? It's convenient, right? They could view multiple properties. They can go on Zillow.com or any real estate website to see what open houses there are this weekend. Maybe they have time on Saturday, they have time on Sunday, so they're going to schedule, hey, I'm going to visit these because they're clustered together on Saturday, and I'm going to visit these on Sunday because they're, a totally different area. And it allows them to view the properties with no pressure. When you have an agent that's showing you properties, maybe you're on a time constraint. So they said, oh, we only have 15 minutes, 20 minutes to see this property before we have to go to the next one. So let's make it quick. Let's go through, would you want to submit an offer or whatever it is. But when buyers are attending open houses on their own, there's no pressure. There's no agent saying, hey, we got to go see the next one. Let's go. Right. They can take as long as they want. Well, as long as the open house is open. And they can discover hidden gems. So maybe they're driving by after church one day on their way home and they see that there's an open house and it's in an area they probably didn't think about, but said, hey, you know what, let's drive by, let's stop by anyway. And it's not a property that you as the agent would have sent them, right? Because it didn't match your criteria. Well, they might find something that they like just by driving by. So hidden gems. Neighborhood exploration. So it gives them time, again, like I mentioned before, if the buyer's working with an agent and the agent has they're under time constraints to go to the next property, you're not going to have time. The buyer's not going to have time to explore the neighborhood. How far are you from, the local park or the local school or whatever it is? When buyers go to open houses, they can explore the neighborhood. They can see, that there's, how far the supermarket is or fire department, whatever it is, right? Just whatever you're interested in, like the parks, the nail salon, right? They can drive around the neighborhood and say, okay, I like this neighborhood. And now benefits for the listing agent. Why do listing agents like open houses? Well, it shows the seller that you're working, right? Because sometimes sellers are like, well, I'm paying you all this money. What do you do? What do you actually do? Well, I'm setting an open house. I'm showing the property. I'm bringing buyers in, promoting it, and you can pick up potential buyers. So if you might double in that listing, so you bring the buyer by, you submit an offer, now you get a second commission for that. Or if they don't like that particular property, you can show them other properties. So you pick up buyers, right? So more business for you, more money. Right. Exposure. If it's your market, the area where you farm and you market, you have your open house signs everywhere through the neighborhood. So every time you have an open house, the neighbors see your name, they see your signs, they see you're the go-to person if I want to list and sell my house. So that's another great thing about doing open houses. Now, preparation for the open house. How do we prepare? Well, staging. If the house is vacant, you want it to look better. So maybe you recommend staging if the homeowner can afford it, right? Or well, effective marketing. Going back to staging, it's not just staging. I think we're going to talk about the next slide, but it's also like decluttering the house, depersonalizing the house. So the sellers usually have family photos of, and not to, I hate to, God, it's one of those things where you're like, I shouldn't say family because it's discriminating against single people. Everybody's got photos, whether it's of their family, their kids, wife and kids or whatever, or their sister or their mom or whatever. So that's family, right? Everybody's got family or their pets. So that makes it more personal. And when a buyer walks into the property and they see photos of the seller with their dog or with their kids or with their parents or whatever it is, they're seeing how they live in the property, right? They're seeing their memories all over the place. Buyers don't want to see that. They want to picture their families in the house or them and their dog in the house or whatever type of pet they have. So that's another aspect of staging the property. So marketing, you want to promote the open house effectively, right? Make sure you get as many people by. Accessibility, ensure that there's easy access for visitors. I was at an open house 2 or 3 weekends ago, and it was in a community that has there's like a gated entrance into the condo community in this middle section, but on the others, like on the left and the right communities, there were no fences, and you needed a gate code to get into the property. And the open house sign was right in front of that gate pointing inward. So I'm like, how are people gonna get in?
Oh, did they?
So I called the guy and he's like, oh, let me go out there and let you in. So he said his wife was holding the open house with him and she was gonna be standing outside in case anybody wanted to come in. And he was gonna be at the open house at the property itself. So she was gonna be out there letting
You
people
have
in.
to ask everybody that came to the open house.
Well, I mean, you can kind of tell who's going to the open house and who's not, right? And if they look at the sign and they're like, oh, here's the sign, then you say, oh, are you here for the open house, right? So accessibility, make sure that you have a plan. If you're in a situation like that, what are we gonna do? Right? How do I get people in? And hospitality, create a welcoming atmosphere, right? You want to be friendly and not turn people away. And so next we're going to schedule professional cleaning service if needed, or you're going to recommend it. I mean, you don't really want to tell a homeowner your house is freaking messy. Your carpets are stained, they're stinky and dingy. Like we need to clean those walls. You're going to recommend it. You're going to suggest, say, hey, maybe we do this because a lot of homes, when they hit the market, they get some deep cleaning on the property, right? Or professional cleaning service to get it ready for the market.
And I had a lot of people that came to the open house that said, oh, the other houses were really nice. Like, not that the one I had wasn't, but they said like they redid everything, cleaned it, fresh paint.
See how much of a difference that makes? And then when you smell fresh paint, there's something about that.
Yeah.
So you can contact and budget book a staging company. So you can either do like deep cleaning or staging or do both. And again, if needed, purchase open house signs if you have not already done so. You want to have at least 20. And then at first you say 20, that's a lot. But you realize that's not even enough.
Even enough. If that 20 was allowed, I was like 20.
Yeah.
And then I like ran out. So I was like, oh no.
There's going to be some neighborhoods where you're going to need more than 20 signs because there's so many
entrances.
There's so many entrances to the neighborhood, and you want to guide people in from that major street, from that major street, from that major street, and then there's a lot of turns going into the house. So that they go really quick. So make sure that you purchase at least 20 of them.
Yeah, and I asked people like, how did you hear about the house? And a lot of them said they saw the signs. So that gave me more an incentive to like buy more signs. Because they're like, oh yeah, I saw your signs at the Home Depot and I followed them and it made me feel good. And it's like, shoot, if I had more on the other side, which I ran out because there's other entrances. I would probably would have had more.
And those are buyers that wouldn't normally come into your open house.
Right. They just said, oh, we saw the open house and we're looking for our son or our daughter who's gonna be buying a house and we want them to be close to our neighborhood.
So if you don't have open house signs, you're gonna get people visiting the open house that found it online. Right? They're looking for properties. They're like, oh, there's an open house this weekend. Let's schedule it to, make sure that we visit it. And those are the people you're gonna get, but it's not always a lot of people.
Right.
Sometimes you're gonna get those people that are driving by, and that's why you want those open house signs.
You get a lot of them from those signs. In fact, can I tell you something real quick? The people that bought the house, they found the house. And they told a realtor.
Yeah.
He lived in Corona. He didn't do a thing.
Oh,
He said he didn't even find the house. They did.
yeah.
And then they came to the open house and they loved it.
Yeah.
And I did ask them, well, do you have a realtor? They said, yeah, we have one. He didn't do a thing. Yeah. Good commission. But I'm glad they bought it, because, they're the ones that put the offer in. So,
Well, you're also gonna have the neighbors. The neighbors are gonna notice the open house signs, and they're gonna want to visit. And that's the majority of the people that come to your open house are neighbors, nosy neighbors.
Yeah,
They're just curious, so they want to see like, what does this house look like inside? Did they do, did they upgrade anything? Did they remodel it? Can we get some ideas on what to do with our house? So you're gonna get a lot of people like that. But the important thing is to get people on the property because you want to give feedback to the seller as far as how many people visited the open house, right? If you say you had two people come through, that's not a very successful open house. But if you had 20, 25 people come through, that's a little better. You want to say, hey, I marketed it. I put open house signs everywhere. I got a bunch of traffic through the open house. So I'm doing my job.
And I emailed a lot of them and said, hey, how did you like the open house? Can you give me any feedback? And one couple said, we really like the house, but it's too close to the house because it was in the neighborhood, to the house that I grew up in. So it was kind of weird. So we went down the street and picked a different format.
Things that people like,
like it was too close. It was the same exact one like the one I grew up, so I wanted something a little different.
Yeah.
But you learn.
Bad memories maybe in that old house.
Maybe.
And then so this is what the open house signs would look like. There's different types of open house signs. This is just an example. And then you have to make sure it has your name, phone number, DRE license number, and the brokerage name. Oh, there we go. Just went over that. Oh, I got ahead of myself there. So this is what the signs must include. So you also want to post your listing's already up in the MLS. You want to post the open house dates and times in the MLS, right? Because then this feeds off into Zillow and all these other websites, real estate websites. And when most consumers go to Zillow to look for properties, and it's going to have the open house time and date on there. So make sure that you add it. And if you're not the listing agent, if you're holding an open house for another agent, go onto Zillow and go onto the MLS and make sure that the open house date and time are there because sometimes they'll forget. And you want to remind them, say, hey, can you please add the time and date because otherwise we're not going to have anybody coming through, right?
Good point.
So you want to go onto Zillow to confirm that the open house is showing up on there. If it doesn't, you want to add it to it. And it's important that you add the open house maybe no later than Thursday onto the MLS because sometimes it takes a day or two to auto-populate all those other websites. So I would say no later than Thursday. And then you want to go on social media and post on Facebook, Instagram, whatever it is, announcing the open house. And now everybody uses TikTok as well. Email the open house information to the office. You can send it to me and I'll send it out to the agents to let them know, that you're having an open house from this time to this time on this date. And then like a brief description of the property, like the address, bedrooms, bath, square footage, and price. And like I said before, schedule it early in the week to make sure that it populates all the appropriate websites. Any questions on this?
You're right though about you gotta do it early or it won't. Some people didn't get it on like Redfin and Zillow because they take a little longer.
Yeah. You also want to design, print, and send out open house invitations to the neighbors, right? So maybe the first 100 houses, 50 houses around the subject property or more if you have time, and invite them to the open house. And make sure you design and print property flyers as well, because buyers take these home with them. If you don't have flyers there, and a buyer came through and they went to 4, 5, 6 other houses, and they liked yours, but they just don't remember which one it was, they could have submitted an offer, right? But they forgot which one it was. So make sure that you print out flyers for buyers to take home with them.
A lot of times I had people that didn't come in, but they drove by and picked a flyer and left. I don't know, maybe they didn't have enough time, but
Maybe.
that happened a lot. Yeah. Maybe they looked at the price and said,
Sometimes I think they do that.
Yeah.
So there's some flyer templates on Moxie and Press, on Listing Concierge in the Marketing Center on mycbdash.com. So if you guys need help finding that, I can show you how to access that. But there's plenty of templates on there for you just to upload the photos. If you go to Moxie and Press and your listing's already in MLS, Moxie and Press sends you a marketing packet already created for you. They use the pictures from the MLS that you uploaded and all the information that you added to the MLS as far as the description, beds, bath, square footage, and it sends you an email and says, "Hey, your marketing package is ready." And there, it creates a property flyer, creates a property website, creates an email that you can send out to your contacts already set up, right? Social media images that you can post already set up.
It's extra though, huh?
No, all that's free.
It is?
Yeah, it's included. It creates all that for you. Yeah. And that's on Moxie and Press. So when you get a listing, it's going to automatically do that for you. If you don't have a listing and you still want to use Moxie and Press to do all these things, you can log in, but you have to upload the photos and the description, and everything, and the templates are still there, so you could use them, but it's not going to automatically do it for you. It's not your listing. You also want to order shoe covers and a flyer stand if needed. You can get this from a title company. Mary, if you contact Mary like earlier in the week, she should be able to get that for you. I just don't call her like on Friday afternoon. Hey, I need a flyer stand. I need shoe covers, because you got to be considerate, and So anyway, so the shoe covers are important because you don't want people tracking mud through the carpet, or scratching the wood floors or whatever it is, right? And then the flyer stand is cool because it keeps the flyers standing up, right? You don't, if you just lay them on the table there,
You can't see them.
you can't see them.
Does the person doing the open house, should they wear the shoe covers?
When I do it, I either wear the shoe covers or take my shoes off.
I did.
Yeah, so that's an option. When
I do
people,
the same thing. If I do somebody an open house for somebody else, I put the shoe covers on.
yeah, there's some people that don't want to do the shoe covers. So
Because I wasn't going outside, but then I thought, oh, I felt bad, but.
yeah, there's some people that don't want to do the shoe covers, so you can ask them to remove the shoes.
No, I mean myself.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, even the agents, you can
okay.
either, yeah, so.
Wear them or maybe wear no shoes.
Or no shoes, yeah. There's some cities where, people don't even use shoe covers.
Hi.
We were just talking about you, Mary. Yeah, see,
Shoe covers. The great shoe covers.
The shoe cover girl.
but I did say, make sure you reach her earlier in the week, because not to call her on Friday afternoon right before your open house. So be considerate. And then, so another thing you can do is you can get some water bottles to give to the people that come by, the buyers that come by. And what you can do is you can personalize them, make some labels with your picture and contact information, and put them on there. They're probably gonna throw the bottle away, but it just looks a little more personal, right, when you do that.
Carl,
And then
this
maybe,
is Alice. I have a question.
yes,
Is this the open house hostess responsibility to order the shoe cover and the flyer stand?
if
Or
you're
the water
hosting the
bottle?
open house, if you're the agent hosting the open house, and you want, like, let's say, you don't want, the most of the sellers are not gonna want people walking through their house with shoes on. So you as a listing agent, or if you're hosting the open house, you're responsible for getting all that.
Can I interject?
Yes.
Yes. Hi. So
Hi.
if you're hosting an open house and it's not your listing, sometimes the agents have everything set up. But what I always recommend to newer agents who are hosting, you should always have 1 or 2 kids in your car. That way, if you get there and they're not there, you have a backup, right? So if the listing has been on the market, it is possible that it's already there. But yeah, when you say it's your responsibility, ultimately it is.
Yeah.
Okay, thank
Does
you.
that answer your question?
Yes, thanks.
Okay. Yeah. And then, yeah, again, most sellers, I know at least in South County, they want either the buyers or traffic that comes to the house to either remove their shoes or wear shoe
Yeah.
covers. So I was just at an open house this weekend where they didn't say anything about They didn't have shoe covers, they just let you walk through, whatever. And then another one where they had shoe covers and they said, oh, you have to wear shoe covers. I said, it's okay, I'll take my shoes off. They're like, oh, well, I guess you can do that too. It's like, all right, it just felt weird. That like, okay, no one's off, no one's, yeah, make yourself at home, right? Another thing you can do is you can order some scent, like bring a scented candle with you just to add like a nice little pleasant scent to the house, or a little bit of Lysol just to add a little, floral or something sweet to the property. And then like you can also provide cookies or pastries or something if you want to do that. That's just another thing that'll get people to hang out a little bit longer. I mean, the only thing you have to watch out for is people leaving a mess and crumbs and things like that. So if you are going to get something, maybe get something that's not, leave crumbs around. And you also want to preview other listings in the neighborhood. You want to familiarize yourself and know what's out there, what the competition is. Look up, print out, and study other listings and comps in the neighborhood. So not just other active listings. You want to look at what's sold in the past 3 months. You want to know, maybe print out a list of what's sold, what's pending, what's active. So that way you can see the prices, right? What did they sell for? How long were they on the market for? And this is going to help when buyers come through and say, oh, this is way overpriced. Actually, it's not. Look here. One just sold last week. It closed for this much. And this one looks much better than that one did, right? So you have evidence of the history of it. Not just that, but you might have a potential seller that comes to the property and they want to talk about possibly listing their home. And hey, what do you think? Well, I can tell you without looking at your property, I don't know what your property looks like, but there's a model match that just sold for this, but depending on the condition of your property, I'd have to take a look at it, and then you can move forward that way. So, but you have that printed out, and you have that evidence there, and it shows that you know the market, right? Like you know what you're talking about.
Carlos, something that I'm seeing some of my open houses do, and I think it's pretty effective. You do have to be a little careful though, because so many of the homes have cameras and video surveillancing. So sometimes sellers could be offended. So just in how you talk, but some of my agents, what they'll do is if there are nearby listings that's possibly a little bit smaller, a little bit bigger, a little more expensive, a little cheaper. So a little bit of a range, right? Using your subject as the middle product and having a little knowledge. So you, not something to pass out, but like an MLS printout, because you could be the buyer walking in going, gosh, this is great, but I really need a 4-bedroom. And say, oh, have you seen 123 Apple Street? That one hit the market 10 days ago. Is that something that you'd be interested in? So that's something that's a little different, but they're meaningful conversations. Yeah. But like I said, you do have to be a little careful because it can backfire if you've got a crazy seller who's watching videos and listening to the whole thing.
And they're like, why are you selling and trying to send it to another house?
Right. So, I mean, it's the same thing for agents who are geographical farmers who have a bunch of other listings in the neighborhood. They'll have like their whole Rolodex, but they're very careful about, how they show it.
I think having cameras in the house is just weird.
Yeah.
That's me. I mean, having cameras outside the house, yeah, because just safety.
A lot of people have that now, though. A lot of people are doing even video. They can hear the conversations too.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And if a buyer didn't like the house, you can arrange to show them another house at a later time.
Yeah.
Like Mary was saying. So, instructions for the seller. Mr. Seller, Mrs. Seller, please lock up, remove any jewelry, medications, or any valuables from the house. A lot of them keep them in their top drawer. I don't know, whatever it is. Make sure you don't want to be responsible for that. You have a lot of strangers come to the property, and they're having cases where people are casing these open houses. They go in teams of people, one to distract the agent while the other goes into the bedroom and rummages through drawers and whatever and looks for, or the bathroom cabinets to look for medications, painkillers, jewelry, whatever it is. So make sure that you let them know to lock everything up or remove them. You want to instruct them to declutter and clearing the tabletops off. So like in the kitchen, clear countertops, the refrigerator, take off all the magnets off the fridge. And then like we said earlier, depersonalize, take down family photos, pet photos, whatever it is, anything that makes the buyer not be able to visualize themselves in the house because they're too busy looking at your family pictures. So things like that. tell them not to cook anything before the open house because that can leave a lingering smell or scent.
No fish.
Whatever it is. My mom used to cook, she used to make these, the chile de árbol,
Oh, yeah.
the little dark red ones, and she would heat them up on the stove on a pan, and that, oh my God, that would just make you cough. I was just
Yeah.
sitting there coughing.
Like
And then
that.
she'd like blend it and make salsa with it, right? Or whatever it is. But that smell lingered for a while. But you know what? I miss it. But it's not something that people want to smell when they come into an open house. So make sure they don't cook anything that morning. And if they do, make sure it's not, stinky. Take any pets away during the open house. You don't want pets hanging out during the open house. Just say, hey, take them to the dog park, do whatever. Just don't keep them here because sometimes you'll have owners that want to leave the pets and then you have to tell the buyers to come through, hey, when you go in the back, look at the backyard, make sure you don't let the dog in. Or when you look in the garage, don't let the cat in the house or whatever it is. You don't want to go through any of that. You're too busy showing property, you're trying to get the property sold. Now you got to cat sit and dog sit. Yeah, so these are things that you want to talk to the seller about before the open house. Any questions on this? So now the day of the open house, right? What do we do? Arrive early. Make sure you get there early. You want plenty of time to set up. You want to address any lockbox issues. We've had issues with people not being able to open the lockboxes, right? Especially like newer agents. That's why I always suggest to practice opening the lockbox because you don't want to be sitting there locked out of your open house or not able to show property to one of your buyers, right? So make sure that you arrive early to get access to the property. Gives you time to get situated, set up, familiarize yourself with the house again. Maybe you haven't been in the home in like a week and a half, but you've only visited one time. Go to the property, make sure you know, hey, the master bedroom is back there, or you go upstairs, whatever it is. Here's the back exit. Here's another exit to the house. Know the exits because when we get to the safety part, you want to be able to get away if something were to happen, right?
We'll just call you.
Yeah. Yeah. So familiarize yourself with the layout of the property. Not just the layout, but the features of the property, right? So you want to know, like, in case that for some reason you didn't know there was a tankless water heater, or there's solar and it didn't come up for some reason, right? Just little things like that. What type of appliances, what type of countertops, things like that. So, and you should have already had all this information before you took the listing, but it doesn't hurt. And you can post a sign stating that there's cameras in the property, whether there are or not. It'll make people act a little more appropriate when they're walking through the property, right? And if there are cameras, you have to post a sign saying that there's cameras, that they're being recorded. So before the open house, you could door knock the surrounding neighborhoods just to remind them because either if you handed out flyers earlier that week to invite them, or maybe you can do that before the open house. So if you then you'd have to arrive a lot more earlier, right? Yes, hand out flyers. Hey, we're having an open house, and sometimes there's some agents that'll have an open house just for neighbors from like a window of 1 hour before anyone else comes. So it could be like a special exclusive thing for the neighbors.
And if this is your own listing and you're hosting this open house, there's not gonna be any better of an opportunity for you to lead generate. This is the reason why people get listings or why they want listings. The property's gonna sell, but this is your ultimate just red carpet opportunity
Get in front of people.
to get in front of people. I have clients, some of my bigger agents that have other agents that work around them or work with them. They're not allowed to do an open house if they haven't knocked on or done at least 50 doors. 50 is a requirement. 100 is really what is told to do
In the neighborhood?
in the neighborhood. And guys, it works. It works. My clients pick up listings. Typically what happens is that doesn't mean someone's gonna say, oh, come on in, Sonia,
Yeah.
list my house. But what happens is there are people in your surroundings of that open house or that listing that have been contemplating it. And they've just been going a million miles an hour, going back and forth in their head. And then finally, this open house and another listing that sold 2 weeks ago, it's really getting them serious, right? So when you're inviting people, you're asking them to come out and see you and interview you. Even if they don't ask you anything, they're literally coming out to check you out to see if you would be a viable professional for them to consider calling you for a listing. That's 100% of that. People just, for the ease of speaking, they'll say, oh, if you know anyone who's looking in the neighborhood, that's great too.
Yeah.
But it's really, you're out there. There's never going to be a better opportunity other than when you have that listing.
And when if you're farming and you're door knocking, you have to spark up a reason why I'm knocking on your door and the market, or you thinking it's whatever it is. And so a lot of agents are timid or scared to do that, right? It's a door knock.
Yeah.
This is an opportunity for you to get in front of them and say, hey, and for them not to say, hey, I'm not interested. Don't knock on my door. Hey, this is just an invitation. I'm holding an open house. Come on by, take a look if you want to. I'm going to be there from this time to this time. So you're not asking them for anything. You're just inviting them. Say, hey, now you have a reason. I'm knocking on your door because of this. It's not, oh, are you thinking of selling, or here's a market update? It's like, no, it's an invitation. Come on by.
You're not asking them.
Put the flyer.
No, this is for the open house when you're inviting them to the open house.
Oh, I would just stick the flyer in there.
No,
I don't know what's on the side. You knock on the door and
Yeah.
talk to
Yeah, but
everybody.
this shouldn't be as scary because you're just saying, hey, just want to let you know I'm having an open house, holding an open house down the street,
Mhm.
and I wanted your invite.
You're inviting
I
them
don't
on
know,
your,
actually,
yeah.
or not. I just like the flyer.
Yeah, I mean, you can do that too. That's better than not doing anything. But
Yeah.
Carlos's point is that you're not selling anything, right? You're not selling anything, so just that little bit of hesitation you have, leave that at home because you're basically going out there to inform people that they are invited to come to your open house. The other thing I really like that makes for an easy conversation, especially in bedroom communities, maybe not like in a tight condo community, but like in more of like an SFR community, something as simple as, hi, my name's Mary. I'm just letting neighbors know I'm hosting an open house tomorrow. Just in case you see some unfamiliar cars driving around, that's me. You should come by for a cup of coffee and some fresh cookies. That's all you're saying. You have not asked them for their name. You've not, and
Yeah.
when people are out walking their dogs, oh, I'm gonna go by. That's all it is.
That's the perfect script right there.
Yeah.
I'll send that out as a script on the
Right?
Yeah. I'm not asking them for anything.
Oh, no. And certain neighborhoods where there's like older people, they love that. They love that. I've gotten feedback from some of my agents going, oh yeah, they loved it because I had some people say, yeah, that should be a rule with realtors because we get scared with all these cars coming through.
Yeah.
They're not used to it if they haven't seen it.
And speaking of older homeowners, this is exciting for them. They have nothing to do all day. They'll come over. Yeah, they'll sit there and talk to you, and yeah. Yeah, you've sat an open house with me, right?
Yeah.
The neighbors come through and they chit chat for 20, 30 minutes, and then someone comes by. Excuse me for a second. You go and talk to them. Oh, you have any questions? Okay, let me know. Whatever. And you come back and they're still there. They want to talk. So it adds to traffic being in the house, right? So when someone sees that there's other people in the house, wow, this is a hot listing.
They don't know, they're just chit chatting.
Yeah. Oh, and there you are knocking on the door.
Yeah, I love it.
That's me next time.
So, like we said earlier, place the maximum number of open house nights throughout the neighborhood. Try to put some in every entrance of the neighborhood, right? And go all the way to the major cross streets. So whatever the major cross streets are, point it to the street that they have to go, whatever entrance to the neighborhood.
Mhm.
And again, 20 signs might not be enough, but that's the minimum I recommend that you get, 20 signs. And of course, you're already going to have a for sale sign in front of the house, so they'll know when you come up. And I guess the final open house sign will be pointing into the subject property. Yeah, there you go. That's as many as fit on here, so that's why. Yeah,
You put out 20.
yeah. I didn't want to put 20. Okay, just as an example. So the circle represents the subject property. And now, so like we're looking down here in the bottom right-hand corner, or to the right, and that's major cross streets. We're gonna start there and bringing people in. And in the very top, that's another major cross street intersection. And then all the other arrows represent where you're putting the sign. Because there's a turn where every arrow is. Does that make sense? Looks confusing, it looks chaotic, but when you have open house signs, it doesn't look like this.
You had a lot of people from like Home Depot that said, oh, I saw your sign starting at Home Depot.
That's actually a great place because a lot of people visit Home Depot on the weekends.
It's true.
It would follow, and they were like, yeah, I just follow the sign.
Yes,
My
so
20
from now
signs.
on, if you have an open house anywhere, make sure that you start at the Home Depot, even if it's like 5 miles away, right?
Like, I am tired of fixing my house. I need a new one.
Carl, I like to share my experience. Did an open house one day, and when I picked up the signs after the show, and it lost it. I couldn't find it. I think someone either accidentally took ours or steal it. I don't know.
Yes, that happens all the time, Alice.
So sometimes agents forget where they put open house signs, which corners,
Yeah.
and then so when they leave with less open house signs. But sometimes the homeowner of like where you put the sign up will take it down and put it in the trash.
The last one.
Or a competitor will come by and take your open house signs down. Yeah. But so also you cannot leave the open house signs overnight, so you have to put them out that morning. Keep that in mind.
Yeah.
So after your open house, make sure you take them down. If you have an open house on Sunday, then you go back Sunday morning and put them out again.
More chances of you losing them too if you leave them overnight.
Yeah.
So you're also going to print out the representation agreements. You're going to print out either or all three of these: the open house visitor non-agency disclosure, the property showing representation agreement, and I'm going to go over what these are, and then the buyer representation and broker compensation agreement. You're going to print out the MLS listing for reference, so in case you have any questions, you can refer back to that for features on the property. Again, have a market update handy, active pending sold. Set up the property flyers, your business cards, and any supporting documents that talk about school information, walking scores, things like that.
Can I share a website with our agents?
Sure.
For the property flyers?
Yeah.
This is a great source for those of you, especially if you're just trying to pick up open houses from other agents. So you haven't, worked with Carlos to create your own flyer. There is a company called List Reports. There are a ton, it's free. There's paid features, but the free features on there are great for just some quick, like if you decided on Thursday that you're going to be doing an open house and you just want a couple things like school report, walking score, the restaurants in the vicinity, things like that. It's on there. It's great. Yeah.
So they have templates for you. You upload the photos, the features, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Use a template, but then it has a second page where on the second page it automatically brings up, because you entered the property address, what the local schools are,
Wow.
the local elementary, middle
Yeah.
school, high school, and then the walking score, things like that.
So after you set up your account, if it's your own listing, the system already picks it all up from the MLS. But if it's not your own listing, you do exactly what Carlos is saying, and you can put everything in. But they look great. There's a lot of them around floating because it's a free service, but it's better than not having anything. And it's something to give to the buyer that has your info on it.
But make sure you confirm the information of like the schools, because sometimes it'll bring in a school that's not in the area.
Oh, okay.
It's like in the area, but not the school it's not within the boundaries or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Well, I would do that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Over in the area.
Yeah.
Yes.
But if it's your listing, you should know that.
Yeah.
Because people move to certain cities, certain areas because of the schools.
Yeah.
Okay, so one of the forms is the open house visitor non-agency disclosure and sign-in form. And this is typically for when someone's walking into the property and you ask them if they're working with an agent. If they say yes, you want them to sign in. They're going to sign their name and then the name of whatever agent they're working with. And when they sign this, that's saying that you're not representing that person, that buyer walking in. So you can answer their questions. You can answer their questions about the property. So pretty much anything that's already marketed on the flyer or in the MLS. Anything beyond that, I wouldn't answer any questions about it. Have your agent call me or, let them do their freaking job and, you know, so that's what this is. And something I'm noticing is that there's some agents that are not even doing any of this stuff. They're just like letting people, and that's how it used to be. You just walk to the open house. But I would have these there just in case. So this is one of them is a sign-in form, sign-in sheet. The other one, that's this one says you're not representing them, so they can't come back and say that. There's always issues that come up. Okay, so this next one is the property showing and representation agreement. This form, if let's say there's a buyer that comes through and they don't want you to work with them to show them any of their properties, but they want to submit an offer on this particular property, you're going to have them sign this form. And then where it says 123 Main Street down here is where you're going to type in the property address. And you can have some printed out with the property address already on there. So all you have to do is fill in let's see, the parties, the buyer's name, the beginning and ending date, percentage of commission they're going to pay you, and then have them sign it on the last page. And so this is pretty much saying you're representing them on the purchase of only this property. Because there's some buyers that don't want, they just go to each property and they use a listing agent to submit an offer on their behalf. They don't want them showing them other properties. They think they're gonna have the upper hand, and sometimes they do, on getting accepted if they're working with the listing agent.
Rose?
Yes.
Question on this form. So if I was an open house hostess, would I be able to use this? Would I use this also? It's not my listing. I'm holding an open
Yes.
house, let's say for my done.
Yeah.
Okay. So something I'd like to bring up, again, for some of our newer agents, where you guys are working on weekends for other agents. Clients will ask you that all the time. Oh, well, are you the listing agent? They'll kind of have a little bit of a hesitation because some of them think that they're adamant, they want to work with the listing agent. Here's what I would say, especially if it's someone from your office and I would say, no, as a matter of fact, I'm not the listing agent, but I work very closely with my son. He and I have a great line of communication. So you're basically letting them know, okay, I might not be the listing agent, but I'm not just anybody. Like, I'm gonna be able to have a good conversation, get your offer properly represented.
And you're in the same office. It's different as if it was like a
Yes,
ABC Realty agent hosting a Coldwell Banker.
right,
agents.
because that happens too,
Yeah.
right? So when it's within, and you guys are so lucky because you have so many great big agents in here. So that's basically what you're saying. I wouldn't go as far as saying I'm part of their team if you're not, but you're basically saying, nope, but Carlos is the listing agent, but he and I work very closely together and we have a great line of communication. And that puts them at ease.
We just had lunch the other day.
Right.
So that's what this form is. It's for a single property or let's say up to three properties, no more than three properties. But if they do want you to represent them, you run into a buyer, you guys vibe, and they decide, hey, I want to work with you. I want you to represent me in finding me a home. Then you're going to use this form, the Buyer Representation and Broker Compensation Agreement, also referred to as the BRBC. And this is pretty much a contract between you and the buyer. Like with the seller and the listing agent is a listing agreement. This is a buyer's agreement with the buyer and the agent. And this is them agreeing to work with you. And the length of the contract can not exceed 3 months. So when you write in the beginning and ending date, it cannot exceed 3 months. And then you're going to type either if there's a specific city or cities, you can check the box where it says cities under B2 and write the name of the city. So like Irvine, Tustin, Lake Forest, whatever it is, or just check the box next to county and just say anywhere in Orange County. So just type in Orange County. And so this is pretty much for any property for 3 months. Any questions on this one?
Was it only 3 months?
Yes.
Wow. You can't do 6 months.
They changed it. No, it used to be because agents used to lock buyers in for 1 or 2 years.
Oh,
and
not do anything or?
Yeah, so even if they didn't like working with them, they couldn't cancel if they purchased a property through another agent. That agent's still entitled to a commission.
Okay.
So this is a way for
To get out.
Yeah, to get out of it. But also, you also want to make sure that you check the box under A2 that says exclusive. That means that if they were to buy a property to someone else, you're still entitled to commission. If you don't check exclusive, that means if they purchase a property to another agent that the other agent showed them, you don't get a commission
During those 3 months?
Yeah. because it's not exclusive
Oh,
unless you check that exclusive box. All right, let's move on. Other suggestions is play some background music. Let me see if we have if this thing's gonna work because it used to work for me. Let's see. Come on, music. The music didn't work. Okay. Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
So play some music in the background. Take a little Bluetooth speaker. Don't play anything that's too loud or crazy or fast. Something relaxing. You know, it's gonna make them feel good being at the property. If possible, have a host at the front door. Maybe you can work with another agent or have like a lender that you work with there because that's always helpful because they can pre-qualify people, answer any questions as far as what do payments look like, how much would I have to lay down, all this stuff. This is something that the lender would answer, right? And again, light-scented candles, spray if needed. Take photos and video of the open house and post them on social media. And then set up your drinks and cookies if you're gonna have that.
That can be, is that okay?
Yeah, you can have that.
It's easy.
And anytime I have an open house, I play this kind of music. I don't know if you guys can hear it at home. Probably not. It's like Spanish guitar.
Yes, or- yeah,
Yeah, Spanish guitar.
yes.
And everybody compliments it. I mean, there's people that are like, oh, it's just an open house, another episode. They're playing all this terrible music. This is nice.
And I think that people that go in and there's music, like they feel more comfortable talking to each other, like it's real quiet.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
it just makes it more easy for them to like, oh, I like this room. Or,
Yeah.
oh, look at this, it's neat, you know.
And for those of you that don't know, you can download music apps on your phone and then select a certain type of music and hit play, and then it'll just play on the Bluetooth speaker when you connect it. So I'm sure everybody knows, but so now we're gonna talk about potential buyer or seller interactions. Like, what do you say to a potential buyer that comes through, or potential seller? I don't know why that came up first, but so the main reason to have an open house is to find a buyer for your seller, right? Pretty easy. And to simplify, the seller's looking for a buyer to purchase a house, and the buyer's looking for a house to purchase. I mean, that's like 2 + 2, right? Simple. So keep in mind that your services are on display for potential buyers and other potential sellers in the neighborhood. So be professional and don't be rude to people that walk in. There might be some people that you just really want to be so rude to because but keep your composure and keep it professional and just remember that you're on display for, like Mary said, right? For potential business. So keep that in mind. It's very important. Oh, look at that.
Whoa, wow.
It must be important, right? It was rotating there. So things to ask the buyer, let's see. Ask if they're working with another agent, so as soon as you can. If they are, have them sign the open house non-agency disclosure. Sometimes they don't want to sign anything. Don't force them to do it. Just let them see the property. Let's see, we talked about that. If they want more information about the property, or if they want to submit an offer, you can use the property showing and representation agreement or the BRBC as well. Let's move on here. So here's some things you could tell them as they walk in. This is like a warm welcome. Hi there, welcome in. Thanks for stopping by. Feel free to take a look around. Let me know if you have any questions about the home or the neighborhood. Put it in your own words, right? Don't sound robotic about it, but just some ideas for a warm welcome there. The next one is a quick report, right? So, hi, I'm Carlos. Glad you could make it. Are you out looking for a few homes today? Or is this your first stop? Now you're kind of like chit-chatting, right? Light info gathering, right? What do they do? What's their motive? Welcome. Have you been in this neighborhood before? Or is this your first time checking it out, right? So are they neighbors? Are they looking in the neighborhood? Did they just drive by and they just saw the open house and they're not familiar with the neighborhood, right? So let's see, another one is setting the tone. Hi, thanks for coming in. Everything's open for you to explore, take a look around. I'll be nearby if you'd like details on the upgrades or the area, right? So just ideas on how to approach people.
Icebreakers.
Yeah, subtle qualification. hey, great to meet you. Are you just starting your search or are you already focused on this area? Same thing.
On number 2, number 3, and number 6. Those are really, we're asking questions, right? I think a very common mistake that a lot of people make at open houses, we're very jumpy. We're very we're nervous, we're jumpy. So you ask a question, and generally those types of questions are not meant to be just Carlos answers and we move on. You should also, after you ask the question, generally, if you show interest, you're going to be able to come up with a follow-up. So if someone says, no, we were looking for 6 months and then we stopped, so we're back out here today. Let's say someone says that. Oh, okay, that's great. That's what most people would say. But then that's the end of the conversation.
Yeah.
So a good follow-up would be, when you were looking 6 months ago, was it the same area?
What happened, right?
Right. And people love to talk. People love to talk. The more that you can get someone to stand in front of you at that kitchen counter and talk, the more he's going to like you. He's not going to like you because he listens to you. He's going to like you because you gave him a platform to talk. And there's going to be people that are completely standoffish, but they're not all that way. People like to talk.
Yeah. So pointing out the feature, welcome. One thing people really like about this home is blah, 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 whatever the kitchen or floor plan, whatever. Be sure to check that out when you walk through the property, right? Maybe it has like a cool water feature somewhere. Hey, make sure you check that out. That's kind of like the popular thing today so far. Whatever it is. But again, these are just icebreakers, just a way to, instead of like, you just standing there saying, let me know if you have any questions. Like this weekend, I walked into one and they're like, oh, hi. You look around. Let me know if you have any questions, and that was it. It's like,
or my favorite's people sitting there scrolling their phone while
Yeah.
there's like 3 parties walking around the open house. It's
What?
yeah, there's a lot of, you guys would be shocked. There's a lot of people that are dingleberries. I mean, again, Carlos has said this, but I cannot reiterate enough. Look, we're in the business of trying to gather leads and meet people. You are not going to have any other opportunity in this career where people are coming to you. Your phone's not ringing off the hook, but when you put an open house together and people are coming in, you should be taking each of those opportunities, even if it's not a good lead. Each of those people are leads that you and I would pay Zillow thousands of dollars for. So why would you not engage them and put your best foot forward and engage with them?
So going back to that, if they say, yeah, have a realtor that I'm working with, I mean, how much more can you pull out of them at that point?
I wouldn't stop the
do
conversation.
they have a signed contract?
Yeah, because sometimes they lie.
Do you ask? Yeah.
So like, I wouldn't work with the buyer without having a signed contract. But there's some agents out there that they would still work with the buyer without a signed contract. They get it signed right before they're going to submit an offer. So if they don't have a signed contract, hey, it's their bad for not having a contract signed, their agent, right? So if you find out, hey, did you sign a contract with them? No, but I've been working with, okay, there you go. There's no signed contract. Agent's fault, right? They shouldn't be showing property without having a signed contract.
Because I had a lot of people that came in and I said, are you working with somebody? Do you have an agent? Yes. Most of them.
Yes, they do.
And I wonder if they're lying.
Yeah. And some of those buyers don't even know about a BRBC because whoever their agent is hasn't educated them.
Mhm.
So as far as I'm concerned, that person is up for grabs.
Yeah.
But when you ask a buyer, are you working with someone and they've been to a few open houses? That response that they're giving you is basically the response, like if you were at Nordstrom's and someone says, are you finding everything you're looking for? The salespeople come up to you and our answer is, yes, I'm fine. Even if you're not fine, people say that. And that's the same thing with buyers, I've noticed. Because I've seen plenty of situations where they say, I'm working with an agent, but my client closes on them next week because they didn't have a signed BRBC. Shame on the other agent. But they could be saying that because their cousin's an agent. They could be saying that because their neighbor's an agent. And they feel like it's just one way to get you off their back.
Right.
And sometimes keep in mind that sometimes when buyers come through, they want to be left alone. There's some that you
Yeah.
can feel. And you know what, if they feel like that and you get that vibe, just, hey, if you have any questions, I'm here, right?
I think some of them were legit,
Yeah.
that they had one, and then some were like, yeah, I'm working with somebody, or I have a cousin, or, yeah, they have somebody, but they don't have a signed contract. Oh, my neighbor's my agent, well.
Yeah.
They don't have anything signed, they know somebody, but they haven't gone the formal.
So the number 7 here, wrapping it up. Thanks for coming by today. If this one feels like it'd be a fit, I'd be happy to send you some more details or a private showing, right? As they're walking out. Let's see, another script for a potential seller. Welcome and scope, but you don't know, right? If it's the buyer seller. Did you come in today looking to buy your dream home or figure out how much your home is worth? This is another thing you could ask to find out what category you're going to place them in, a buyer or a seller.
The neighbors do that a lot, they wanna know what their house is worth.
That's huge though. That's your mini listing appointment.
Yeah.
They're
already
interviewing you.
thinking about,
And then you're going to know how to follow up, right? When you find out if they're a buyer or seller, you're going to know how to follow up with them. Let's see, if it's someone says that they're looking to buy, you're going to ask if they're working with another agent. Same thing, we talked about that. Sometimes they'll tell you I was working with another agent, but I don't want to work with them anymore. They're terrible. They don't communicate, whatever it is. Then you want to find out if they have a BRBC signed. And if so, when does it expire? So this is helpful because they might want to work with you. That doesn't mean you don't talk to them. You might build good rapport, they might feel comfortable with you. And I think in most cases, when a client works with you, it's because they're comfortable with you or they trust you, right? Or there's sometimes where a seller or buyer are going to work with an agent because they're the agent in the neighborhood or they're the agent that, they've sold so many homes or whatever it is. But I think for the most part, they want to feel comfortable with you, right? They don't want to feel intimidated or rushed or forced or anything like that. Let's see. So if the buyer wants to work with you and they're not interested in the house, you can ask them, hey, if you don't like this house, maybe I can show you some other houses in the neighborhood. There's actually 3 in this neighborhood. There's 2, in the adjacent neighborhood. Adjacent?
Jason.
If not this house, maybe another house, right? Potential buyer script. Let's see. I know a few other homes that are on the market that would meet your needs. Right? Same thing. Would you like to see one of them? In order for me to be able to show you the property, we have to sign a representation agreement, and this is where you talk to them about signing the representation agreement. And then they might say, "Oh, my last agent didn't make me sign one." Well, your last agent has a lack of understanding of the law. So let's see. When's the best time for you to see one of them? And you can even say, hey, I'm available on this day or this day. What day works better for you? Give them an option. So if you leave it open, then they'll say, well, I'm not sure. But if you give an option, they're usually going to pick one, or they're going to give you their own option. What's the best phone number to reach you or email to reach you? If a buyer says they're just looking, agent, that's great. It's always good to look first and get a sense of the market. And again, this is just an idea of what to say. You don't have to be robotic about this and then say verbatim. Are the things about this property you're looking for, things you dislike, right? And again, things you dislike, feedback. That's feedback you can give the seller. I have a few of the listings that you might like in this neighborhood or another neighborhood, wherever it's at, as well as another upcoming open house at. Send them to your next open house, either the next day or the next weekend. Potential seller conversational questions. So if they walk in and they say, oh, I'm a neighbor, I'm thinking about selling. How long have you owned your property for? Get a sense of have they been there for 20 years? Or did they just buy it 2 years ago? Or if you just bought it 2 years ago, why are you moving, right? Get more information. When were you thinking of putting your home on the market? What is the reason you're moving? These are all questions you want more intel, right, on why they're thinking about selling. I would love to see your home. Do you have time today after my open house or tomorrow at 3 p.m.? These questions give you a little more information about how to prepare the follow-up response So the more information you get, the longer your conversation can go, and the more they're gonna talk, and like Mary said, people like to talk. So just listen. And you know that this is when, it's a mistake that I made at the beginning too, is you want to show them how smart you are and how much you know about the market and all this stuff, that you interrupt them and tell them like, oh yeah, so this property sold for this, blah, 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 and oh yeah, these are going for this much. It's like, don't do that.
Yeah.
Ask them questions, let them talk, keep asking them questions, the more they talk, the more you listen. I think that the better rapport you're gonna have, I think that they're gonna feel more comfortable with you. This person's listening to what I have to say, they're listening to my needs. So you might know the encyclopedia, just keep it to yourself until it comes up. That's just my suggestion.
And it's really kind of a pro tip also. When you see really good veteran agents in full mode, they're asking questions. They're asking questions because as they're asking questions, like Carlos said, you're able to prepare for that next at bat, right? So if you know all this information, I mean, I'm always like shocked when people say, yeah, I've talked to him 6 times and I'm finally going to the listing appointment. I'll say, well, where do they want to go?
I don't know.
What?
I don't know, because I talked to them. I didn't listen to them.
Letting them talk to you.
I didn't listen.
So the more information you have, it's not that you're going to pellet them with all their answers, but it allows you to like visualize, like, okay, what is going to get this person to go from here to here? Because that's our job, is to help them navigate how to go from what they want to do to achieving that, right? You can't help them on that path if you don't know these questions.
And then it even helps to like kind of regurgitate what they said. Not regurgitate, but just like repeat what they said, so they know that you listen. Oh, so you want to move out because you got a new job? That's pretty cool, right? So it shows that you paid attention to what they said. So you're repeating what they said, but like in confirmation. Oh, so that's cool that you want to go to a different school district. That that school district that you want to move to, that's pretty good. So you're confirming what they said and that you're listening.
It makes them feel good.
Yeah. Yeah. So then book the appointment. Book the appointment, whether it's a buyer or seller.
Book it now.
And then safety, just go over a few safety issues. Let someone know where you're going to be, and how long you're going to be there for, family, friend, broker, whatever it is, especially like if it's a listing that's in another city or county or whatever, it's a little further away. I know that everybody's got GPS on their phones and locations and all that stuff, but you still want to let someone know. Have another agent again or a loan officer at the open house with you. It's stronger in numbers, right? Familiarize yourself with all the exits of the property in case you need to escape safely. And again, I'm not saying this to scare anybody, but there have been situations where agents, specifically female agents, have been stalked at open houses, and where there's someone just sitting out there waiting till there's no visitors, where they go in and try to either abduct the agent or try to, hurt them or something, right? So be careful, and don't do open houses at night, in the evening, for sure.
So, a couple times, like a man would come in and sign, and I'd be like, "Hi, how are you? I'm fine," and just run into the house, and I'd be like, "Okay." Then I'd just like make my way by the door and stand by the door, because a couple of them just went in. It was just weird.
Yeah.
The vibe.
Yeah.
They'd sign in, I'm good, and then they run through the house real
Yeah.
fast, and I'd be like, "Okay, I'm gonna stand by
Yeah.
the door until they leave. Bye."
Yeah.
So,
Or even stand right outside of the door
okay.
if the door is open. Yeah, and then there's some
And
weird
they could be
people.
fine,
They could be
but-
fine and just socially awkward, but why take the chance?
Maybe
right?
they're in a hurry.
Well, another
or
thing you can do
whatever.
is you can post a sign that applies to those cameras. Hey, smile for the camera, smile your own camera, something, right?
Yeah.
Because then again, people are going to be on their best behavior if that's the case. It might be a good idea to carry pepper spray in your purse or in your pocket or something in case of an emergency. But like Mary said, like if you're following somebody into like one of the bedrooms or bathroom or whatever, don't walk in. Let them walk into the room. You stand outside the room
Yeah.
or at the doorway, because once you're in that room,
Yep.
They can close that door and you have nowhere to go.
Yeah, don't follow them into the bathroom, don't walk into the closet with them. I mean, it seems like second nature, but it's just, you get caught up in the moment and.
And I understand there's some people that try not to think of the worst case scenario, but because there's some people that just they see the best in people, right? They don't want to think that there's bad people out there, but there are bad people out there. So be very careful. Please be careful out there. And that's it. Any questions?
No, that was good.
And then don't forget to pick up your open house signs at the end of the open house.
Yeah.
And don't lock the key in the house or the lockbox. So one of the things is I like to keep the key in my pocket. When I go open the lockbox, I take out the tray, I take it in the house with me, and I put the key in my pocket. And I put the tray next to where I have my phone and my folder of comps or whatever it is, so that I remember to take that tray with me, lock the door, put the key back in the tray, and put it back in the lockbox. There's times where agents have locked themselves out of the house. They lock the tray and the key inside the house, and then when they go back to put it in the lockbox, they're like, damn, I left the key in the house. I left the tray in the house. So just little tips.
Yeah, I would leave the key in the tray and just put it somewhere like in a little hiding place. So I'd
Yeah.
be in there, get the tray, the key still.
Yeah.
Otherwise, yeah. That's just, you gotta have a little.
Yeah, but if
system,
somebody takes that
Take it,
tray,
then it's gone.
yeah.
Hey, Carlos,
Study
I have a
question?
question.
Yes.
So there are new 3-story new condos, homes in Irvine. So when host the open house in that place, where would we stay? Like first floor or the second floor? Usually first floor is just like connected to garage, and second floor is mostly having a living room and kitchens. So where
You'd
would
probably be in the middle floor where
Mhm.
the living room and kitchen are.
Yeah,
And then you can usually see down the stairs from there, right? To the entrance.
sometimes I can see, sometimes not.
Have the windows open on the second floor.
Pardon?
Have the windows open.
There is a balcony.
Yep, I would open that.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Yeah, in case you want someone to hear you scream if anything happens.
Okay, got it.
Everything will be fine, Mia.
Okay, I actually bought a pepper spray because when I had a lunch with everybody here in the office, there is a lot of like experiences, the agent, and she told me about her bad experiences. Once I heard that, I felt really feel bad, so I purchased the pepper spray. And another
Yeah.
question is that, so let's suppose that I'm going to list and I want to look around what's going on in the neighborhood, and I want to visit the open house. Then when I enter that, can I just say that I'm agent, I'm doing the preview for my clients?
So yeah, if you're walking into an open house, you just hand them your business card and they'll leave you alone.
Right. So I actually experienced different cases, opposite cases. So when I hosted the open house, then there was agent and client came. They just say that, oh, I'm browsing. Okay. Then they left. And like 2 weeks later, the open house I hosted was in the escrow. And I just kind of look around the other open houses to what's going on. Then I actually entered the open house, but that was the exactly kind of agent I met. So it looked like they just want to see how our open house is. It's the same plan, same
Yes.
floor plan, and everything is the same. So
Sometimes they even bring their potential sellers in there.
right. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Very common.
I see. Okay. That's all for me.
Okay. We'll see you guys next week.
Have a great day.
Okay, thank you.